Hello guys, Craig from fixitfallows, and today I am in the garage, but I won't be for long because I'm going to be heading out through those doors there and I'm going to be doing a oil service on my Mercedes Vito W639. Now normally when I do an oil service I remove the sump plug and drain the oil down that way, but I have acquired myself a new toy and it's in this box here, and that is an oil extraction pump. Now, I got this off of eBay. It was approximately £40-ish. I'll clarify that in a little bit. And what we shall do is we shall video my attempts to get this thing set up and working. And then you'll know whether it's worth your while getting one or not. So I've got all the stuff I need. I've got my oil and filters all in that box. That's all good to go. And we need to crack on and get this unboxed. So let's do that. Okay, right, let's get this oil extractor opened. Look at that, I've got the box upside down. Okay, it does come with some instructions. Okay guys, so here we are. This is the pump unit. It's fairly weighty. I think this can hold 9 litres. So from what I've read, you get 4 pipes. You get a solid copper pipe. You can bend it if you're gentle with it, and there is a holder on the side. You can put that on there for when you're not using it. Not entirely sure what I'd use that for yet. You get this sort of bung connector. It's got a rubber seal there that goes in the top of the unit here like so, and then you connect one of your 3 extraction pipes down into there. At the end of each of these, they are tapered rubber bungs. I would imagine you have to push that in there quite firmly to ensure you get an airtight seal, because when you start pumping on this handle, obviously this thing will only work assuming that there's no air leaks. Having read the instructions, it says once you start pumping, it will continue to siphon off the oil until such time as this thing's full. And once it's full, it will automatically shut off the siphon so you won't start overflowing. So it says. We'll see what actually happens. There is a pressure relief valve here that you can press, I guess, should you want to stop siphoning at any point. And these 3 different pipes have got different bores. This one's quite small. Internal, I'd say that's probably about 3 mil, maybe 5 mil, and that one may be 8 mil. So obviously, they're going to suck the oil at different rates, and depending on the viscosity of your oil will be more effective on one or the other. They're all the same length. They are, let me see, from the bung to the end, they are, what's that, 110 mil, 111 mil, 1 metre, 11 centimetres. So that's that. I've taken my dipstick out. Now the dipstick will go to the bottom of the oil pan, and that is 66 centimetres long. So these pipes are plenty long enough to get down into the bottom of the oil pan. Obviously it's got to go down the dipstick pipe, loop over, connect with this. So, you know, depending on how deep into your engine bay your dipstick is, will dictate whether these are long enough or whether you're going to need to stand this on some sort of stool by your engine bay to account for the lengths, etc. So that we'll judge that as we go. Not sure whether there's any way of interconnecting these at the moment if you want to extend it, but obviously in doing that you'll be using different size bores of pipe, but you know, it may be an option. So I think at this moment I'm gonna go with the medium size bore, and I'm gonna see how we get on. So I shall insert that into there, push that down. That seems like a good fit, and let's go and have a try. Okay, so here we are. My oil dipstick is there. Change plan, I'm going for the larger bore first. I'm going to see how we go. It's quite a stiff pipe. I mean, it flexes like that, but you can't put any tight bends in. So I've got it detached at the moment because I want to push it down and see how far it goes down before it hits the bottom of the pan. So in we go. In actual fact, I can't push that down any further because my pipe starts to narrow. So scrap plan B, go back to plan A. This pipe is too big for my dipstick. So here we are with the smaller bore pipe. Let's try this one. So down it goes, pushes it down. Right, now it's bottomed out. It's bottomed out, but we're here. The rubber bung's here, but my pump's there. How's that going to work? I really need, like, even if I was to raise this up, this is going to be at an angle. So I've got to find some way of extending this pipe to there. So bear with me. Okay, so now I've got the bigger bore pipe again, and as luck would have it, this pipe pushes down into here reasonably well, like so. And yeah, you can extend, you can push it down far enough that the smaller bore pipe goes up inside here. Now, what you don't want is, when you're doing the oil extraction, is for this joint to foul and for oil to all start coming out of this joint. So we'll keep a close eye on that as we're doing it. So now we need to take our connection bung and put that end into there like that. Let's push that in. Okay, and then we can connect that back to the unit like so. And there we are, we have quite a decent amount of pipe. We can move this around. Look, we could move that quite a bit further. So without further ado, let's get pumping. Now, from what I've read, it says about 4 pumps should get this thing going. Now, I haven't actually run the engine to warm the oil up. Now, that might be a mistake on my part. We might need to get the engine oil a bit warmer, but anyway, let's see how we get on. So let's put our feet either side there. Now there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I can see the oil's coming. Can you see that? Let's pump until there we go. The oil is coming. Let's start my stopwatch. We'll see how long that takes. So at the moment, this joint looks dry. That's good. That's all pumping. I can hear it dribbling into the tank. I guess we've just got to leave it and let it do its thing, and I'll let you know how long it took. So here we are. This has been going now for just 7 minutes, and it is going to be a bit slow. That's the amount of oil we've extracted so far, but it's working. It is definitely working, and if you get up close, you can hear the oil running in. Yeah. I suspect I should have really had the engine running for maybe 10 minutes or so and get the engine oil warmed up a bit to loosen it up, you know, make it a bit more viscous. But we can suck it out cold, so it definitely works. Anyway, let's let it do its thing. Okay, so it's now been 31 minutes and we've got that much oil. Fair bit more to go, so it's not going to be a quick process, and as I say, I think maybe I should have warmed up the engine first. Okay, so whilst we're waiting for that oil to be siphoned out, we might as well crack on and change the air filter. So to do that, we need to undo this Jubilee clip here to take off this air pipe that comes off. We need to undo these 2 sensors, so we pull out that grey thing there, pull that sensor off, and then this one here, you just press in the tab there and pull that off. And then you need to look out for the fact that there's like a little metal clip there that holds those 2 wires in place, and you can just pull that down like so. So let's undo that Jubilee clip. That's a 6mm hex there. Let's just undo that off a bit. Okay, let's pull that Jubilee clip off. So there's that detached. We now need to detach this air hose here. I usually detach it from this point here if memory serves me, and it just pulls out like that. And then we need to remove this whole unit. Actually, before doing that, we need to remove the oil filler neck there, and that just lifts up, slides off, and that just falls down to the side. So then we just need to prise up here and here. These come out. Let me show you that. Up it comes. That's come detached from there, and then the whole thing pulls forward. Now that gives you then access to these Torx bolts along there that you can undo. And then the whole lid just lifts off like so. And then there's your old oil filter. Air filter rather. Pull that out. So yeah, that's well overdue. Look, that's quite dirty. And I take all of this out so that I can tip out any debris that's trapped in there. You could hoover it out, but you know, there's some big pieces in there. Look, there's a big twig, some leaves and debris. So I just use an old trusty Henry here just to hoover this out. Now we can get the new air filter. There you see, look, there's the new one. You can see the difference between new and old. That one's done its job. It's trapped all that dirt in there. And as you can see, what I do is I write date and the mileage of when I put the new one in. So let me get my pen. There we go, I just use a Sharpie. So we have got the, what is it today, the 24th of September 22. It's actually been 7 months since I last changed that air filter, and the mileage is now 185,614. So yeah, that's nearly 14,000 miles ago, or 13,000 miles ago, 14,000 miles ago. Yeah, so a little overdue really. It's bad on my part. I usually try and do it every 10,000 miles, but hey ho. So let's put the new air filter in. There it goes. Make sure it goes down as far as you can push it. So it almost goes down level, almost level with the lip. There's probably about 4mm protruding like that. And then we take the lid of the air box, and these hooks along the back go underneath these. Like that, and then gently you tighten the bolts back up, being careful not to overdo them as you'll strip the plastic thread, which I have admittedly done on that one there. Okay, these can go back in the motor. Okay, at just gone 45 minutes, I noticed that it stopped running. So I pumped the handle a few more times and it's got it going again. Okay, let's get this airbox all the way back in. So this goes back in. You've got these lugs connection things here that go onto the rubber ribbed bosses back there, so we just offer that in. And then the front has got these protrusions that push down into these rubber holes like that. Make sure you put your connection back on there. Making sure your Jubilee clip is seated in the groove properly. Okay, so we'll do that Jubilee clip up in a second, and then this airbox here, make sure that's pushed back into place like that. That's good. And then you've got your sensor wires to reconnect. So take your two sensor wires. Okay, so there's your two sensor connectors. Clip your cable retainer back onto the side of the airbox. Push in your connectors, push the grey clip back on that one, lock it in place. Push that one in until it clicks. That's your airbox all connected back up. Okay, so we're probably halfway there. I've had to pump it a few more times because I can't hear it working, but then if you put your ear really close, it does seem to be still running in, because obviously the acoustic changes as the thing fills up. So what I've done is I've put this bit of tape here and I can visually see that's now moving. So we're currently at 1 hour and 2 minutes and that does appear to be still pumping away. Okay, with half the engine oil out, I may as well crack on and change the oil filter as well now, because obviously all the oil at the high end of the engine in the filter, which is the highest point on this particular setup. It might be different on your engine. You know, if you've got a different type of vehicle, your filter might be lower, I don't know. But on mine, my filter's quite high, so oil should have drained out of there. So I'm quite confident that if I remove the filter, we should be good. So to do that on this particular vehicle, I need this, which is a 74mm socket that actually goes on top of the plastic housing for the oil filter. That goes on top, and then I need a breaker bar to turn that socket. And what I've done is I've broken open the cardboard box that the air filter come in. That's where I can put the dirty oil filter off of the vehicle onto there, in order to take the seals off and put the new seals on, such stuff. So let me show you that. Okay, so the oil filter is positioned down to the side of the airbox. So this is the airbox. So down there you go, that's the oil filter. So we take the socket, put the socket on the top. Okay, so now I'll take the breaker bar and let's get that undone. Okay, so I'm taking a carrier bag like this, put my hand inside it, and then I reach down, get the oil filter, and then enclose it. in the bag. Okay, so there's the old oil filter. You see it's well and truly used. So we need to get that off of there and get this new one on. So the new one, I'll show you that one. That's what they look like new. That just slides on over the top of that plastic housing there, and it comes with some new rings. So these two go on these two go on here, and the larger one goes on the plastic body screw-in bit up there. So this bit can get a bit grubby. Best to have some tissues at hand, and I'm going to use another bin liner to pull off that grubby old filter there. Okay, so I'll just take a small screwdriver and I hook underneath that seal there and get that one off. There you go, there's one seal, and then there's another one here, so hook underneath that. Okay, and see that one has actually gone hard and broke, so that's definitely overdue being replaced. And then finally the very small one down at the bottom. There we go. Now we get the new seals and put them on. So we take the big one, just stretch it over, get it into its little channel like that. That one's in place. Second largest one, offer that down into its little channel like that, and then finally the small one. There we go, there's the new seals on. Okay, so now we take the new oil filter like that, and we just slide it over and push it all the way home. Now that can go back in the vehicle. And what I'll do before I do that, I'll get some of the new engine oil on the end of my finger and just smear it around these new seals so that they go in nicely and don't bind on the side of their housings. Okay, so that's all the engine oil extracted out. I've got the new oil filter in the car, and I can put the new oil back in. Once I've poured the new oil in, I'll then have empty containers in which to decant out the old oil from there, and then be able to take it to be recycled. Okay, so there we go. I've put the 9 litres of oil in using this funnel down into the filler neck there. So that's all good. Dipstick's back in, I've checked it and the levels are good. Obviously I'll check it over the next couple of days as well to make sure the levels are okay. All that's left to do now is to go into the vehicle and do the reset on the dashboard to say the service has been done. Put the oil cap back on and then sort out emptying that. Okay, so we're inside the vehicle now, and we want to reset that service indicator. So I've got the key in ignition, it's round to the second position, but the engine isn't running. We need to be on the, there we are, we're starting from, say, that bit there which got your total mileage, your trip distance and the temperature, and we go up on this button on the steering wheel, up to the temperature, then up to where it says service A, and then we press the trip button here for about 20 seconds. We keep that depressed and we should get a beep. Once that beep has happened, which should be any time soon, like that, we can then come back to the steering wheel here and press the right menu button. So I'll press that and it takes us into a page with a load of information about the vehicle, and then we use the up button there to scroll up once and then twice, and it tells us the service is due, and then we use the trip button, press that once, and it's given us another menu, and we come back to the arrow buttons here and we press up once, and it's saying if we use standard oil, press up again, and it asks us whether we want to confirm the completion of the service. And to do that, we press the trip button for 3 seconds, so I'll do that. And there you are, service is confirmed. All good. So we can take the key out of the ignition, like so, and we'll put it back in. And then we scroll through the menu again. It now says service B is due in 14,300 miles. So that's all done. So there you go, guys, there's the service done completely on my Mercedes Vito W639, and I did it using this oil extraction pump. Now, what are my opinions, final opinions on this thing? Is it worth it? I would say yes. It's exceptionally clean. It's a very clean process. You don't have to get on the floor, you don't have to get underneath and take that sump plug out. You don't have to worry about resealing the sump plug. If you've got an engine cowling under there, you don't have to take that off. So it does make life easier. Did it extract all the oil? Well, this is a 9 litre tub and it is pretty much full to the brim there. Supposedly the capacity in the vehicle is 9 litres. There was probably somewhere between 8.5, 8 3/4 of oil in there. Bearing in mind it's done best part of 13,000 miles. So yeah, it definitely sucks a lot out. I did have to every now and again pump the handle a few more times to get the thing going, and certainly once I removed that oil filter, once the oil had dropped enough, that sort of released some of the back pressure, you know, sort of the vacuum effect, so the oil flowed quicker again. Certainly when I use it again, I will run the engine for 10 or 15 minutes prior to doing the oil change to warm that oil up so it flows a bit quicker, to get the oil a bit thinner. All it remains me to do is to discard this oil, so I can either decant it out of this tub into, you know, used oil, empty oil cans that I've got here. Alternatively, I can just take this whole thing to my local recycling centre and decant it straight into the big communal oil recycling pot that they've got there. So that's about it really. So yeah, all in all, I'd say yes, it's worthwhile. This pipe, extending it like this, putting like the medium sized pipe up inside the larger pipe, gave me the reach I needed. I mean, that gives you plenty of reach there. That was no drama at all. Yeah, I'd recommend it. I'll put the link for it in the description below. I bought it on eBay. You can get it on Amazon and any other online sites like that. At the time I bought it, it was about, I think I got it for £44. So all in all, yeah, worthwhile. Thanks for watching. I know it's probably a bit tedious in places, but please be sure to give me a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe, and check out some of my other videos. So for now, I say goodbye, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye.